24, 2019. Let's stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Councilman Scringy.
Present.
Councilman Livingston.
Present.
Councilman Kranz is absent. Councilman Taylor.
Present.
Councilman Patrick.
Present.
Councilman Mazza.
Present.
President Scanlon. Present. That's 6 here with 1 absent, Kranz. Okay, on the introductory of resolution 19-27, considered finance, Councilman Patrick. If you're ready.
I'm ready. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask for unanimous approval of RL Resolution 19-27.
Second.
This is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a supplemental agreement, number 1, with Barton and Laducci to provide field design, construction, inspections, and construction management services for the 6th Ward Sewer Receptor Project.
Comments, questions?
Mr. President.
Councilman Livingston.
Thank you. Over the last just under 24 hours, well, actually just since this morning, since I had access to the RFQs, and then since this afternoon when I had a chance to come to City Hall and get the physical copies of the qualifications for the applicants, I was able to answer many of my questions. One of the things that I actually encountered in this process is the realization that if I had access to a computer inside City Hall and file system, that I could have answered many of my questions by looking through the legislative search document that's on the K drive. So I'm looking forward to working with the city's IT department and get that computer inside the work session chambers, because I honestly feel like I shouldn't be. Some questions I feel perfectly comfortable asking of our department heads, but a lot of these questions I could answer for myself if I had better access to information inside of City Hall. So looking forward to doing that, and I do support this project. Thank you.
Other questions or comments?
Call the question.
Questions been called? Roll call, please. Councilman Scringy.
Aye.
Councilman Livingston.
Aye.
Councilman Kranz is absent. Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
Councilman Patrick.
Aye.
Councilman Mazza.
Aye.
And President Scanlon. Aye. That's 6 ayes, 1 absent, Kranz. Under introductory resolution 19-28, considered finance, Councilman Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask for unanimous approval of introductory resolution 19-28.
Second.
This is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Shoemaker Consulting, Engineering, and Land Surveying, DPC, for the Heiner Road Improvement Project.
Questions or comments?
Call the question.
Question been called? Roll call, please, Lee. Councilman Scringy.
Aye.
Councilman Livingston.
Aye.
Councilman Kranz is absent. Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
Councilman Patrick.
Aye.
Councilman Mazza.
Aye.
President Scanlon. Aye. That's 6 ayes with 1 absent, Kranz. If there's any other questions or comments,
Yeah, I got one.
Councilman Mazza.
I'm going to ask Councilman Livingston something. I noticed when you talk with Ken here on the emails that he forwarded to everybody, it says you have extremely limited time. Now, we have Monday night when, say, Ray comes down to talk to us. You could ask questions then. Maybe you don't have the questions right at hand, but you still have the next day. Instead of asking the next day, you hold the legislation over. Don't you think that Ray and everybody else that work for the city of Binghamton have limited time too? They have nothing else to do but answer 10,000 questions. And don't you guys get together maybe once in a while in caucus and talk about things? Or you can ask your your councilman too, Conrad, and talk about this stuff together, and maybe Conrad can answer them too, instead of holding legislation over and really going through a lot of our time on this, instead of having special meetings like we have to have. Is there a reason for this, that you do this? Wait till the last minute to ask questions?
Mr. President,
Go ahead, Councilman.
is the councilman yielding the floor so I can
Yeah.
talk?
Yeah, I'm asking you a question. I'd like to understand you better. I really would.
Yeah, I don't have every hour between the work session to the business meeting available to ask questions. Sometimes I can come down to City Hall and ask questions, right after the work session. Sometimes, I can ask those questions the day of the work session, and sometimes I have to, I have my availability the next day. I can't, account for my schedule, but I set aside the time to ask questions of department heads. I'm not trying to force special meetings to happen. I'm interested in having extra time to research these things, to ask questions of department heads. I didn't call for this special meeting. This is not the result that I was looking for.
These things were something that can't be held for 2 weeks. These pieces of legislation, like Highland Road, the state gave us money to help fix it one time too. And plus we need this to move forward with Highland Road. Don't you think the people up in those districts need to have these roads fixed, or whatever they're fixing, the creek, whatever it is? And same with my district, with the sewer lines that I've been trying to get fixed since I've been in council. And when you've got sewer water running up into your houses and your houses stink because the sewers are all plugged up or collapsed or whatever, do you think these people want to sit another day? And with this administration that we have going now, they're willing to work on stuff for us? And instead of holding things over, if they waited another 2 weeks, even for Highland Road's sake, you might not get the FEMA grants. That's why, do you think our administration pushes things, expedites stuff because they want to? They do it for a reason. It's not done because it's wanted to be done. It's done for a reason, so you can keep the city moving forward. We don't want the city backwards again. And when you hold things over and then you got to wait another 2 weeks, you may end up losing some of this stuff. And some of the money from FEMA or grant money. Things like this have to move forward. And I understand you have questions. We all have questions. We all ask questions. The mayor even asks questions. But when it comes time for something like this, if you have a question and race down there with us, ask them the questions then. And if you don't think about it, ask them the next day. Don't wait until our meeting time to hold us over. And now we have to hold another special meeting so we can keep the city moving forward. That's all I'm asking you to do. Because to me, it's just, sometimes it seems to me like you're doing it on purpose, just to waste time. I don't get it. And I'd really, like to see it move forward and a little faster. There are certain things that probably should be held over at times. I'm not saying there aren't. But it'd be nicer if it wasn't. And if you have questions, you can always call one of us. I'm sure if we can help you answer them. And I know Sharon was here the other day answering questions for you, and then she sent you over to Ken. Ken answered your questions, and I see Ray sent you stuff over. And today they went down to print all this stuff too. So that's a lot of time to, scan it and send it out. It's not something that happens in a half an hour or 20 minutes. It's time. So seriously, if you have questions, it doesn't hurt to ask one of us. Maybe we can help you out. I'm more than happy to. We've been here long enough to do it.
I appreciate the councilman's offer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments?
Conrad.
Councilman Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. President. With all due respect to everything that Councilman Monson just said, I don't think that it's fair to put a council person in a position where they, should assume to apologize for just wanting all the information that they deem necessary on a vote. Of course, Councilman Livingston and I spoke about this. I think Councilman Livingston spoke to a number of people in this body and in City Hall
expedited. No council person should be put into a position where they feel uncomfortable voting for something because they don't know the framework of the legislation. Excuse me, Council President. Where they believe that they don't have all the information that they feel necessary to vote on something. This is something that I'm incredibly happy to see. Somebody that is willing to do all the research and all the information necessary to make the best decision for the city. If I had any inkling that Councilman Livingston just wanted to hold things up or just slow the process down or whatever was said, I would be the first person not to support that and provide my second. But if any of the 7 council members here feels like something was expedited, they asked the questions in the 48-hour period allotted to them regarding legislation and didn't feel like the answers were provided to them that they were looking for, of course, hold that over to make sure that when you vote, the yes or no that you vote is exactly the way that you feel you should be voting. If you feel like you need to have information on what the qualifications are in an RFQ, then that is totally in your realm as a council person to have that information. It is not something that somebody should apologize for. I don't think Councilmember Livingston or I feel any less importance for this legislation because Councilmember Livingston wanted to have that information. And I do believe that it's unfair to make any other sort of assumptions.
I understand what you're saying, Councilman. But he had other days in between this. Monday, Tuesday, he could have even gotten it sooner. And if he had more questions, there are 7 of us on city council. He could have questioned and asked, can you help me out with this? And that's where I'm going with this. I'm not saying he needs to apologize. I'm just saying there are 7 of us here to ask. And he did question. He did ask Sharon, and Sharon sent him to Ken, and Ken sent him back answers. And if he still didn't understand it, because I'll be honest with you, I'll bet you a lot of that stuff is so legal, it has so much legal jargon, I don't think I could understand that stuff, and I don't know if anybody in here could, besides an attorney. So I'm just saying, if he has questions, instead of holding things over and having special meetings, ask one of us. We're here to help. And if I don't have the answer, I'm sure one of us do, and if we don't, we can find it. We can figure it out together. That's what I'm getting at, instead of having the special meetings. I'm not asking for anybody to apologize. I'm just telling you what really, and this is how you move the city forward, and this is what we've been doing. Conrad, you've been here with us for 4 years now, going on 4. And really, we've talked, you and I have. And that's what it comes down to. I'm not afraid to ask. I'm not afraid to say anything either. So if you have questions, you don't understand something, call us. I'm sure one of us can answer. That's all. I'm not asking for an apology.
Other questions or comments? Councilman Taylor.
I think that's completely fair. I do think that Councilmember Livingston did ask those questions as soon as they came up, an hour before the meeting. But with that being said, he asked the same questions he asked to the Corporation Counsel's office, to the engineer's office, and he asked those questions to me as well. And the truth is that when there's an RFQ in the city of Binghamton, have the exact formula that you went through. We've gone through every single
Do you
thing.
want me to stand up here now and actually articulate verbally the RFQ process? Because if you really want me to do that, I will do that. Because I can go from beginning to
I'm
end.
going to remind council to keep order, and if the questions are rhetorical, they are, and if not, you'll yield the floor.
It was a rhetorical question, but if anyone's willing to, if anyone would like to do that, feel free. The point is that there should never be a moment when any council member should be shamed for asking more information. I don't think it's held anything up too much. I think it's in anybody's right to do that, and that's my opinion. Of course, agree or disagree.
I'm going to clarify just for the sake of the record, and I do think the discussions about the amount of information you have is important. And I think having a special meeting tonight is clearly necessary, and I thank the President for doing that. My office, me specifically, was not asked for the RFQs. Okay? As questions come up, particularly for new council members, one question leads to another and leads to another because you don't know what you don't know until you ask. So we want to encourage that. But we also want to correct misinformation. And so that's why I'm correcting that on the record. With that said, had you asked for the RFQs, as I told you slightly prior to going on the record last night, my office would of course provided them prior to the vote. I understand you asked Ray for them at about 5 o'clock. And you were right to request a hold until you had that information, so long as we were able to get this to go forward. That was absolutely within your right, and I thank council for coming here tonight.
Other comments?
Mr. President,
Yes, Councilman Lewis.
I don't want to, belabor this much longer, but I just want to say that the reason why I held this over isn't because I'm trivializing this. It's because I take this very seriously. I really want to represent my constituents. I want to do the best job I can for the city to make sure that that as a city council person, I'm providing another set of eyes on the business of City Hall. That's what I feel like my constituents elected me for, and I'm not trying to be a thorn in anyone's side. And I'd imagine that as time goes on, fewer of the questions that I asked leading into this process will reappear. I'm got a learning curve, and the city's RFQ process is complicated, but it's something that I'm learning a lot about very quickly, and I don't feel like anyone was imperiled by having another 24 hours to find out the answers to these questions.
Other comments? Councilman Screen.
I'm going to try to elaborate on this from a more middle of the road, but more straightforward position. Any member on this body, as our chamber rules state, has the right to hold over a piece of legislation if and only if a second is actually received. The concern here, Council, is it is within your jurisdiction to hold it over, to make that motion if you so choose. And asking questions is a good thing. I'm a college professor. I work in academia. We ask questions all day. However, I would say, as it relates to this position, if you are not reaching out to everyone on this body that works with you, by definition, you are not exercising all of the resources available to you. And when we work in a collective manner, right, because we have 7 districts that are geographically isolated to themselves, and the people of your district absolutely elected you to ask those questions. That's a good thing. I'm actually not being facetious. To answer Councilman Taylor's rhetorical question, I could sit here and reverberate to you the RFQ process if you really would like. Like, for example, when you asked the question the other night with regard to qualifications and with regard to the RFQ process, if you would call me or reach out to me after the meeting and
said, you know, that question that you asked regarding, you know, why is it that with regard to the RFQ process, you know, we're not looking at things related to the lowest responsible bid? Because there's a difference between a request for a proposal and a contractor to actually build something versus an RFQ, a request for qualification, and for a designer to design something. You don't go to that level with an RFQ because you want to make sure that bidders who are submitting qualification bids are not skimming the budget to try to get the job. You want to get the best designed, best engineered thing. You don't want a bridge falling, you don't want a building falling, you don't want asphalt building up from a road. So I think the concern of some people is that if you reach out, we can help. But if you're not reaching out, I can't read your mind, you can't read my mind, right? So exercise all of those resources, right? I mean, all of these people that are here full time, way more than 8 hours a day, right? Even though we know our jobs are part time, we all do way more than that, right? I mean, you can call me in the middle of the day, shoot me a text, shoot me an email. I can pop out of my office hours from the university and help you walk through something. Or maybe you have a question and you're not sure where to go. Maybe Councilman Taylor, Councilman Mazzo, or myself. Maybe we've had a past experience like that, and we've found out a way to get that answer. We can assist you in getting that information, right? So it's not personal. It's not against your purview. It's how we represent our individual districts, as well as collectively do what we need to do for the city. Right? That's bipartisan, that's how you get past all the stuff, and that's how we get stuff done, right? Working with the mayor, the administration, the clerk's office, court counsel, engineering, and whoever it is. There's actually a laid out process for RFQs, and it's actually incredibly extensive. When they put an RFQ out, they have representatives from the engineering department, from the department in which the project sits, the mayor's office, court counsel. They sit independently and score that third section in those bids, that qualification section. They score it independently. They aggregate all of that information, they send it to the city engineer, and the city engineer tallies it up. They take the top 3, and then they do a more in-depth look as it relates to costs, pricing, and other factors. Then they, on top of that, they do a second qualification score round with all of those different departments as it respectively resides and sits. And then they aggregate those, and then they move forward, and then they bring it down to us as they should, because we pass it, and our duties are largely fiduciary and oversight. So if you're not exercising every resource you possibly have, that can potentially impede it. It's not malicious on your part, we're not trying to say that. We're just saying, use every resource you have. Your success is our success. Our success is your success. And the more we can work together, the better result that we get for the constituents that we represent. And I think holistically, I think that's the point that we're trying to make. If you have a question, that is incredibly legitimate. Brother, that's your job. Let us help you. Just help you if you don't. It's okay to understand. Not understand something. There's lots of things I don't understand. Right? I didn't know the RFQ process when I started, but there were some great people that I spoke to that helped me figure it out, right? And you learn those things, and you're just starting out, you totally get it. But if we work together, that's how we can move that forward, right? As it relates to special meetings, is it an inhibition in and of itself? No, of course not. But we do know that our rules and our chamber rules also call that we have to have a minimal majority, right? My grandmother is really under the bed right now. Councilman Mazzo owns his own business. Councilman Papistrat owns his own business. What if I had to go see my family? Councilman Mazzo had to build a sign. The kitchen in Councilman Papistrat's district had a boiler that went. And
I had school and work today.
you know, and we couldn't actually get a minimum of 4 people here. That would be problematic. Now, is the probability of that high or low? I guess that's dependent on the respective situation, right? But it's a domino effect. Things affect the other. So I think holistically, the thing is here, we're here for you, brother. Reach out and let's work together. That's all it is. Appreciate it.
Make you collaborate. That was great.
Yeah, woo.
Any other comments?
And I appreciate it.
Call the question.
Motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned. Second?
Second.
Stuck in the traffic.